I don't have any idea as to what is happening right now. I'm in my office, and normally when I do videos in my office, I just use my normal background. But today I said, you know what? Get your green screen and do another background and see how it works. This is how it works. You can see my green screen, but for some reason, the background is on my face and not on the screen. I have no idea why that is. If you know and can help me figure this out, that would be great. Otherwise, we're just going to go with this until I can figure out what is happening. I wanted to share something with you today because it came to me yesterday. And I'm going to share something from my book. My book is The Beautiful Journey. You can see, you can see my face again has a background in it. I don't know what that is, but I just want to share something from this book because I was thinking about this yesterday. So this is from my chapter called What the What. So after each chapter, I started, I should say, by putting a quote. So this quote says, I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship. So this is after I've gone through, because this book is based on my journey through cancer. And so this is after I've gone through my first cancer. Life is good again, and I am about to go on vacation with my nephews. And this is what it says. I know. I hear it all the time. You do not look like someone who's gone through cancer. But what does someone who's gone through cancer look like? I must admit, I look amazing. My skin is smooth and it's glowing. But I just say it's God's grace radiating through me. Looks can be deceiving, huh? It's hard to look at someone and to know what they're truly going through, or even what they've been through. Recently, I've been listening to the song Life in Favor by John P. Key. It's been on repeat for the past couple of weeks. I will share some of the words because it's easy to make judgment about people based on what you see, but you don't know their story. The song goes, you don't know my story. You don't know the things that I've come through. You cannot imagine the pains, the trials I've had to endure. In all, God has been faithful to me. He's promised he will never leave me. My story proves that God can use me. Deliverance is my testimony. You don't know my story. We all have a story. We all have gone through some things. And you're blessed if you don't look like what you've been through. Because I know we've all seen some people and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks like they've had a hard life. So be thankful. But what I will say is don't assume, don't make judgments because you don't know someone else's story. Yesterday, well, let me just say this. You see this, my Apple Watch? I use this Apple Watch for accountability. It has the exercise ring, the move ring, and also the stand ring. So I have goals that I have to meet every day so that I can close the rings in my watch. And I have been doing good. I mean, I was on a streak, maybe 4 weeks or so, without missing a day, making sure that I closed my rings. But yesterday, the only ring that I closed was my stand ring. And that was because I woke up with my feet on fire. There was nothing I could do about it except elevate them and put on compression socks. I was walking like a penguin. It was bad. And this is a residual side effect from going through cancer. It doesn't happen all the time. And I honestly believe that what caused this one was the salt that I had been eating. I had made some pinto beans and I used Better Than Bouillon, which I love that flavor, but it's a lot of sodium in it. And I think that was the reason my feet swole. And even though my feet don't look like they're swollen, I have narrow feet, but even though they don't look swollen, I can feel it. And So yesterday I had to forego exercising and even moving as I wish I could have. But it just got me to thinking about my cancer journey and how people may look at me and think that I'm okay. But I can tell you that there's a lot of residual side effects that I deal with from my cancer journey. And I was just thinking about, even when I found out about cancer, I had taken my nephews to Disney World. I think they were 5 and 6 at the time. And it just so happened that my best friend and her family was there at the same time too. I think they went a day before we did and then left a day before we did. So while we were there, we spent time together. And I remember I was in so much pain. And I didn't know why I was in this pain, but I was in a lot of pain, and aspirin wasn't doing much of anything. And I just remember giving my nephews to my friends, and they, did things with them because I just couldn't. But they left a day early. And so I'm like, if we can just get through this one day together, we'll be fine. And we did. We did okay. We left the hotel. Our flight was in the evening. So I think we went to Animal Kingdom and then went to the airport. And it was at the airport that I started having issues. And I mean, major, major issues. The pain was undescribable. I had never experienced pain like that before. And I remember I had made it to the gates with my nephews, and I had told the gate agent that we were there, but that I had to go to the restroom. And then I had made friends with some other people who had their kids there. So I left my two playing with their kids, and I just sprinted to the restroom. I just needed to get there as soon as I could. And so I go in there and I find myself in the stall, and I'm just crying and crying and crying. And all of a sudden I looked over and I saw some shoes. I looked and I'm just like confused because I'm like, why are these shoes facing the wrong way? And then I look over to the other stall and it was the same thing. All of a sudden, I realized I'm in the men's restroom. Now, when I think about that, I laugh because it's silly. I just needed a restroom. I didn't care which one, evidently. And I ended up in the men's restroom. And so I had to wait till all of them left. But I couldn't even laugh at myself back then because I was in so much pain. Like literally, we got on the plane like the last people. I made it back just in time to get on the plane. And the entire trip home, I just cried. I had bought movies for both my nephews. They had two different movies. I'm like, just don't bother me because I just have to figure out what is going on. Now, mind you, I'm a year and a half out since I had finished everything with my first cancer. And I just remember when we landed, I just wanted to get off the plane, get to the restroom, get home, and then get some medicine. And I did just that. Went to the restroom, got home, took a Percocet or some kind of strong prescribed medication that I had, and it didn't touch the pain. So now I had to make a decision. And the decision was to go to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room and I don't even know what happened. I would need to read the book. I think I know. I remember one of my dear friends met me at the emergency room, Cassandra, and I remember taking the kids to my mom. And and I'm a private person. You probably don't think that because I do share a lot here, but there's some things that I just will not share. I'm a private person, and I remember my mom saying that had it not been for the fact that I was just in so much pain, that she probably wouldn't have known that I was at the emergency room. But she only knew because I needed her to take the kids for me because I just couldn't do anything with them. Um, but yeah, it was a mess. And that is, That was the start of my second journey of dealing with cancer. All of that is in the book. I'm not going to share any other details just because when people read my book, and because I don't talk about it, and it's on purpose, really, the second cancer. And it's because in my book, I build it up so that you're wondering, well, I shouldn't even say that I build it up. Most of the times, people don't even know that this second cancer is about to hit. So it's kind of one of those things that, I don't want to ruin it for people. But I just say all that because I'm 10 years out. Yeah, 2011 was when I was diagnosed the second time. And I remember having surgery on August 3rd, 2011. So I'm almost 10 years since that diagnosis. And this one happened really fast. I think I was diagnosed on a Thursday. I was in surgery on Wednesday or something like that. And I may look okay. Well, right now I look kind of silly, but I may look okay on most days. But I can tell you that there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't deal with some residual side effect from cancer. I just may not talk about it because, it is what it is. I'm grateful for life. And so I try to stay in gratitude. And that's that. But I share this to say that we don't know what people are going through at any given moment. And we just need to extend grace instead of making judgments, assumptions that may not be true. Because you don't know someone else's story. You don't know the things that they've been through. You don't know the pain, the trials that they had to endure. You don't know it. And so that's my message for today. Extend grace. Extend grace. Even when the person cuts you off, you don't know why they're cutting you off. You don't know what's going on in their mind. And I just remember when I was diagnosed with cancer the first time, I was driving home and I was thinking like, my mind was somewhere else. And I was like, this is so not safe. But fortunately, I was only like 20 minutes from home. So I didn't have that far to drive, but no one knew what I was going through on that given day. So if I'm sitting at a light and it turns from red to green and I don't move, don't cuss me out and give me the middle finger because you just don't know that I just received a diagnosis that I have cancer and I may die. Like, extend grace to people. Like, I'm all about trying to figure out how we can care more for one another because the way this world is set up right now, there is truly a crisis when it comes to caring, and we have to do better. All right, that's it for today, but I just wanted to share that because it was on my heart. Just in case you're wondering, my feet are better, but they still aren't. I'm going to have to put on my compression socks again today. And I may have to forego my last little bit of these pinto beans. They were so good too. I just have to figure out a different way to cook them because that better than bouillon gets me every time. So it's not that it's new that my feet swells. This time it just swole a whole, they swole a lot. So I just have to figure out a different way to do my beans without meat because I don't do meat. So that's why I use the bouillon because it gives me some flavor. But that is it. You all take care. And again, if you know why I look like this, please let me know because I could use the help to figure out why my green screen is still green and my face is the background. All right, take care. Bye-bye.